Welcome back. I'm Janine, and this is my podcast, Quest for You. So grateful for you being here and listening to me and giving me a few minutes of your day. This is episode 318. Rumi said, "Be empty of worrying. Think of who created thought. Why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open?" We worry a lot. Maybe right now, as you're listening to this episode, there's something that occupies your mind. Whether we notice it or not, our mind is always churning on something. It ruminates, speculates, worries, and wanders in various ways. Major parts of our day go by, judging the events in our life, past or future. And often, that judgment is negative. And as a result, we worry. When I was caught in the worry spiral again, life always seemed harder. The major worries took over completely. I couldn't concentrate on anything because all my energies were directed towards worrying. I felt as if my neck was being strangled. I couldn't breathe, and I somehow had to find relief. To me, that relief could only come with better news, but that often wasn't available. So I was miserable. The minor worries stayed more or less in the background as I went about my days, but kept popping up every so often. And without noticing, they took over significant parts of my brain power, often in the forms of overthinking, going through the same event a million times. What if? Since I discovered the Stoics, I've found solace many times in their objective and cool take on life. Because when I'm all fired up, often over nothing, I need someone to talk sense back into me. And often my worries are useless. Marcus Aurelius said, "It is essential for you to remember that the attention you give to any action should be in due proportion to its worth. For then you won't tire and give up. If you aren't busying yourself with lesser things beyond what should be allowed." Worry is an attempt to mentally problem solve something that either isn't really a problem or isn't a problem that's solvable. This always drove me nuts. I knew that the only answer to my worry was to solve the issue, but that often wasn't possible. The meeting my boss scheduled for next Friday and that I worry will bring bad news, I can't just ask him to tell me right away. I'm stuck with my worry for another week. And that means a week worth of speculating, ruminating, and stressing over something that may turn out to be completely harmless. And during that week, I'm useless. I will waste energy thinking about the upcoming meeting, leaving me little left for creativity and generosity because I'm so consumed with myself. I will waste time talking to friends about what the meeting could entail and plan out reactions that I will never need. When the source of the worry can't be solved, I learned it's best to let go of the worry. To do this, I calmly counter the illogical reasoning of my mind. And the Stoics offer the best arguments. First, I bring myself to the present, because worry usually takes place in the past or the future. Seneca said it well. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied, for he that is wants nothing. The greatest blessings of mankind are within us and within our reach. A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not. When I find my way back to the present, I acknowledge it and I remind myself that I really have nothing to worry about and rather have everything to be grateful for. The following quote by Epictetus expresses it nicely. "Caretake this moment. Immerse yourself in its particulars. Respond to this person or that person, this challenge, this deed. Quit the evasions. Stop giving yourself needless trouble. It's time to really live, to fully inhabit the situation you happen to be in right now. You are not some disinterested bystander. Participate. Exert yourself. I can't help it. I love this quote. Once in the present, I then take a step back and analyze my worries from a distance. Some worries may truly be justified, and for those I figure out a plan of action, or at least decide on a couple of next steps. For the unreasonable worries, I try to talk reason into myself, again with the help of Seneca. It is likely that some troubles will befall us, but it's not a present fact. How often has the unexpected happened? How often has the expected never come to pass? And even though it is ordained to be, what does it avail to run out to meet your suffering? You will suffer soon enough when it arrives, so look forward meanwhile to better things. What shall you gain by doing this? Time? There will be many happenings meanwhile, which will serve to postpone or end or pass on to another person the trials which are near or even in your very presence. A fire has opened the way to flight. Men have been let down softly by a catastrophe. Sometimes the sword has been checked, even at the victim's throat. Men have survived their own executioners. Even bad fortune is fickle. Perhaps it will come, perhaps not. In the meantime, it is not. So, look forward to better things. I love this. Look forward to better things. To me, this is the cure to all worry. Worry often feels like a prison cell that I'm trapped in. I run in circles, stuck on the same thought, the same anxiety that just gets worse. The out is the way forward. Look out. Look ahead. Look forward to something that's better than this current mess. Maybe the upcoming vacation or a dinner with a friend. But hang your mind that's running in circles onto something else. Seneca understood the mind's power extremely well and expressed it as follows. The mind at times fashions for itself false shapes of evil when there are no signs that point to any evil. It twists into the worst construction some word of doubtful meaning, or it fancies some personal grudge to be more serious than it really is, considering not how angry the enemy is, but to what lengths he may go if he is angry. But life is not worth living, and there is no limit to our sorrows if we indulge our fears to the greatest possible extent. In this matter, let prudence help you, and condemn with a resolute spirit even when it is in plain sight. Seneca also writes, there are more things likely to frighten us than there are to crush us. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. How true is this? Seneca's advice is simple, yet so powerful that I keep coming back to it again and again. He always reminds me that the source of both happiness and unhappiness is within me, and I decide which wins. Both worry and joy come from within, and worry undoubtedly leads to unhappiness. Therefore, I am responsible for my unhappiness. This realization often helps me immensely. I get clear again on what matters. My worry moves into the background and I'm able to focus on important matters again. Remember our Rumi quote from the beginning? Be empty of worrying. Think of who created thought. Why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open? Don't allow the worries to keep you locked up. Worries don't resolve anything. They just rob us of our time. If you can, go out and take action to get rid of the worry. And if you can't, then let go of it. So much love. I'll talk to you soon.